I am the most tuned in, tapped in, turned on, linked in when I'm doing my work as a healer. And I feel like I've been getting a nudge from Spirit that I'm supposed to take the next step in my destiny this lifetime, which is to work with groups, doing my technique for larger and larger groups. And I'm excited, and
what any of us have to offer, in other words, the most important thing to understand relative to the subject of healing is that every single person is an extension of source energy, and every single person has this wonderful energy of well-being focused toward them. Every single person. So technically, nobody should need a healer to goose it up, because everyone has direct access from source. Mm-hmm. But so many people are resistant to it that it's nice to have someone who can soothe them into the allowing of that, you see. And that's where the teaching comes in. Because you could see someone who is in need of some beneficial energy, and the sensation that so many people have is, well, I'll just tap into the source and then I'll just shine it really strong on them and they won't be able to resist it. Well, they can. If they've been practicing it, they can. And so it's the teaching part, it's the soothing part, it's the aligning part. Also, the other thing that we want to say to you about that is that it's what we were talking about with our friend in the step 4 phase. In other words, you've known what you don't want, and you've known what you do want, and you've allowed yourself to be the receiver of it. And now you're in that place where you have knowing about all of that. And so now, isn't it logical that the contrast that surrounds you would parlay your desires into more exponential results? In other words, if you are someone who understands the energy and is expressing it, you're one person moving around. But if you are teaching others what it's about, then more good comes from all of that. So, yeah, we are in agreement with that. The next step will reveal itself to you as you stand in this place now of acknowledging your readiness. That's all that's required. In other words, it requires you saying, just as it required you saying, I am willing. I give up everything that was holding me from this thing that I now know that I want. I'm ready. Esther found those words in her mind, and she does not know where they came from. She doesn't know if she found them or if they were our words that she translated, like the words I'm next. It's hard to know where those words come from, isn't it? But Esther remembers sitting in meditation and feeling the energy that she was afraid of, because she didn't know what it meant. She had never felt anything like it before. She didn't know where it would lead her. She didn't think she wanted to go where she thought it might lead her. And then one day, she found herself saying and meaning, because words don't matter, only what you mean matters, I'm willing. And that was the sort of declaration of releasing of the last resistance.
I am willing, and I agree with you.
So don't try to fill in the grid. Don't try to figure out what to do. Just follow the impulse. In other words, you're right where you want to be. Just follow the impulse. Because we like the first thing you said to us, that you are tuned in, tapped in, turned on when you are doing that. And we wanted to jump in and say, and the reason for that is, first, you can't do your work unless you are. And next, you've done it enough that you know how to do it. And next, those who you are working with are calling it through you. In other words, you've got all that stuff going on. So now you get to define. Esther said, Abraham, do you expect me to tell this to the world? And we said, no, we're just telling you. Took all the pressure off you. Oh, good. Oh, good. No, we're just telling you. But it wasn't very long before the benefit that she was receiving from what she was knowing made her want to help others know it when they were expressing that they would like something to be different in their life experience it was. And so her willingness evolved to clear understanding of what she wanted to do, you see. So on a morning like this, she sits in preparation to play with you, meditates, does some breathing, slept well the night before, and wrote and wrote and wrote this morning, and essentially everything that she wrote essentially said the same thing. There's nothing in all the world I would rather do than what is about to happen in this room. In other words, nothing is better than co-creating with Source. Nothing is better than co-creating with Source.
I feel like I'm better used working with people energetically than teaching. I feel like there are others whose gift of teaching is maybe their first gift. For me, it's
you're
more
saying
the energy.
you're saying something really important here, and it's what we've been talking about all day here today, isn't it? That it's creating the vibrational nucleus. And so what you're saying is, when I get tuned to this and I know what I know, and I hold someone as my object of attention, in my clarity, I can for a time dominate the vibration of their being. And they can get results.
Right.
But if you don't use some words to explain to them what happened, it won't be lasting.
I do. I do that also, but I think I have a master's degree in counseling also, so yes, that's part of my work. My vision that I feel like I'm being shown is not to be doing a lot of words and teaching for large groups, but to come in as more of an instrument to shift the vibration.
Well, why are we having this conversation? In other words, so you've got this sense, you've got this vision, you've got this knowing, you know what to do. Why are we talking about it? Why don't you just go do it?
I'm wondering what the next step is, and
well, don't get ahead of yourself. In other words, if you, in all that you've come to know, it will evolve just like that. And what you're demonstrating is the thing that trips everybody up. I've got this sensing. What do I do now? And can you feel how you just pivoted from well-being into discord?
Oh, it's not anxious. I'm excited and I'm curious, almost like a child, and I'm open.
It's a perfect place to be.
Yeah.
Satisfied with what is and eager for more. That's the perfect definition of step 4. Satisfied with what is, in alignment with what is, and eager for more. Really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed.
So all the time we've been having these conversations, today is the first time where these segments have felt timeless to me. I mean, I know they've lasted 66 minutes on the clock or whatever they last, but it could have been 2 hours per segment. It's just felt expansive and wonderful. Can you please help me put that into some words?
Oh, we're going to put it into some really good words. It is only resistance that makes you measure.
Excellent. Excellent. And the other thing is that we've heard vibrational environment a few times today, and that really feels, it's my sense that that's sort of where this conversation and this conversation is sort of going. Can you please flesh out the whole notion of the vibrational environment?
We've been calling it your grid,
Right.
Meaning your point of attraction, sort of like a framework that will fill in. Esther has been asking us, as she feels what we're feeling as we're projecting it to her, Abraham, what word, when I say it, feels most like you mean it? Vibrational climate, vibrational nucleus, vibrational environment or atmosphere? And we say all of those words are good words for what we mean. You are creating a vibrational, emotional climate that everything in the universe will respond to. So if you just reach for something that feels good, then other good feeling thoughts flow to you. Well, where did they come from? Maybe from Abraham, maybe from other angels. It doesn't matter where they come from, as this non-physical energy is flowing through you. Maybe from mass consciousness. It doesn't matter. Don't try so hard to figure out where it's coming from. Just notice that it is coming. In other words, you create the environment in which it will be attracted, and an environment that will sustain it. That's the best way of describing it. So the more you practice it, the more you own it, the more you are it, the more flows to it. And then soon, really, really soon, it is our powerful intention, desire, and promise to you that really, really soon, we're going to move from this creating the vibrational climate, because you will have figured it out, because it's easy. It's easy to do. It doesn't take anyone more than 30 days to teach that to themselves. And so anybody that wants to can do that. It's easiest to do first thing in the morning. See how long we were talking about getting on your high-flying disc. Well, that's what it is. Creating an environment where you feel good. An environment that fosters more good-feeling thoughts to come to it. And then, very soon, it is our intention, our desire, our expectation, even our promise to you, that then we will have discussions, because you will already be in that place of powerful attraction, of then defining with more specifics the details of the way you want the universe to surprise and delight you. In other words, don't you just love it when you get on a roll and you can just feel that everything's working out for you? The traffic lights open just right, the people in traffic are just right. You rendezvous with people that you're interfacing with in the marketplace, or even as you're checking into a hotel. You're not just rendezvousing with other people in pleasing ways, you're rendezvousing with your own past in pleasing ways. You're rendezvousing with your own present in pleasing ways. You're excited about your future in pleasing ways. You begin to understand that someone a few gatherings ago said, I've taken to just writing it as if it's already happened. He said, I wrote about the woman that would come to me, and she showed up, and it only took a little time. And I wrote about my perfect job, and my perfect job showed up. In other words, you are on the precipice of being able to understand the power that you hold with your thoughts. But we are not encouraging you to direct your thoughts too specifically until you're sure that you've got your vibrational atmosphere in the place that you want it to be. So practice it a little while, and then let's romp into your future experiences. We think that all of you should have enormous prosperity in your life this year. Your economy is poised for it. Your vibration is poised for it. There is not a reason in the world for you to experience anything less than that, other than thoughts that you have been thinking that no longer apply to this vibrational atmosphere. So as you create this vibrational atmosphere deliberately, the thoughts that you chronically have been thinking that don't mesh with that are going to bounce out, because you can't have it both ways. You can't create this atmosphere and hold those old resistant thoughts that aren't serving you. It's got to be one or the other. And we think that today you've made a different choice, you see. So you're going to find yourself unwilling to criticize like you once maybe did, or unwilling to feel sorry for yourself like you once maybe did, or unwilling to nitpick over other people unnecessarily like maybe you once did. In other words, the understanding of this vibrational nucleus is going to solve everything in your vibrational patterning, which means all that you've been asking for that is in your vibrational reality is going to begin to move from a vibrational state of being to a manifestational state of being, where you and others who are around you will be able to see it and hear it and smell it and taste it and touch it. And that's what we mean when we say you create your own reality. This is not a gathering where we say we're going to take you into the non-physical and talk about things that have nothing to do with your life here on planet Earth. Everything that you are about is about your life here on planet Earth. You're wanting to demonstrate your vibrational clarity and your vibrational currency. You have a vibrational currency that it's time for you to begin cashing in. It's time for you to allow yourself to be treated in alignment with the trajectory that you set forth when you made the decision to come.